the ultimate end goal would definitely be me just managing a group of people.
Going forward, think of ways to scale.
Ask the people who know me, like I say my pleasure without even having to say it because it's just embedded in me. The main part for me that I got most out of Chick-fil-A was...
Welcome to the Howdy Podcast, everybody. Today's guest is Jesse Cochran, the one and only. The third Cochran out of the 5 that I've had on my podcast. Previously, I had Will the barber, which is his older brother. I had his father, which both of those episodes were absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
This is going to be a different vibe. We've transitioned from that kind of show to like a genuine, valuable show where people learn things.
Yeah.
People have good conversations. And today is Jesse Cochran. How you doing, Jesse?
I'm good.
Glad to have you in the studio, man.
I know. I'm excited. Maybe we'll actually get a real podcast going on.
A decent
from
conversation.
From a real Cochran.
So, Jesse, kind of give everybody a background. Like, who are you? Where did you go to school? How did you grow up? And what are you doing now?
So, I was homeschooled, just like my siblings. I grew up in Anson, Texas, and I go to church at the one that my dad pastors at, Bethel Assembly of Anson. And so, as of right now, I'm full-time on my window cleaning business, and I just quit Chick-fil-A on Friday. And so now we are completely independent. I just moved out, and so, yeah.
So from Chick-fil-A, being employed, comfortable, able to pay the bills on time, know exactly what you have coming in, to being completely on your own, self-sustaining, self-employed.
Yeah.
How's that been?
It's weird. I've only had like 3 days, I think, of being by myself, but you know, working a 9 to 5 for so long, for 3 years, is just weird. I remember on Friday, I was done with Chick-fil-A completely, like terminated at 5. And so I did a catering for like 100 people. And so it's kind of cool. I just kind of went out with a bang and catered for 100 people in the dining room, and they took a picture. And so, but it's definitely just felt a little weird walking away for the last time. I didn't expect it to be emotional, but it was like, what the heck? Like, I've been working so hard for this job in this company for like 3 years, and now I'm just like done.
So what position were you in Chick-fil-A?
I was the catering director.
So you handled all the catering.
Yes.
So explain kind of like the levels for those who don't know about Chick-fil-A's like employment. Like, is there management, like director? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so you start out, when you start at Chick-fil-A, you start as a team member, and that is a red shirt. You're just kind of normal, average Chick-fil-A team member. And then from there, at my Chick-fil-A, it's kind of different depending on the Chick-fil-A. But for my Chick-fil-A, it's more, you kind of go into these different training programs for like what team you want to be on. So from a team member standpoint, like say you want to either be on the catering team, you want to be on the back of house team, you want to be on the marketing team, you want to be on the front of house team, whatever it is. And you kind of go through that training program, or you could just be a shift leader as well, which is kind of the next step. You go into shift leader in training if you want to be a shift leader, which is like just a manager. And then from a shift leader, you basically just like manage every shift, tell people where they're going to be, what position they're going to be on every day. Like we have team trainers, and so like I guess that's kind of the same as a shift leader, but you basically would put people with trainers for the day, what time you're going to be on this position, you know, and then from shift leader, you would go to assistant director. And assistant director is basically you are assisting the director of that area. So like for me, I'm catering director. I had an assistant director. His name was Elliot. And so he was basically assisting me in all the stuff that I would do. He would do all the dirty work, like preparing the orders, getting all the sauces and plates, all that prepped. And then I would just do like the higher level stuff, like, you know, what's next for catering, like doing cold calls, you know, calling and confirming orders, calls after the catering order, like how is your order? Do you have any bags you need to return? Stuff like that. And so director is basically like at the top, and then after that it would be like store manager, which South Clack has one of those, but we don't have one of those. But yeah, that's pretty much all the levels from
So
Chick-fil-A.
you pretty much climbed your way up.
Yeah. I was team member for the first like 3 months, and then we had a team trainer, and then a team lead, which was kind of like the same thing as a team trainer, but just like pretty much below a shift leader. And so I was team leader for a couple months, and then I was team trainer for a couple months, and then within probably about 6 to 8 months, I was a shift leader, which was the first time being like in leadership. And I just ran shifts like that. And then from shift leader, we didn't have like any catering pretty much, like nothing. Like any catering that we had was just pretty much like, okay, kitchen's going to make a large nugget tray for this person and then hand it out to them when they get here. So there really wasn't any like systems in place for catering. And so we really didn't do a lot of sales in catering. And so that's when they were like, we had these intern managers is what they're called. And they were coming in because we didn't have an owner of our Chick-fil-A for a year. And so they would come in and they would basically like help us with what we need, what we're not getting from an operator they would provide. And so there was one guy, his name was Zach Milner, and he was totally like one of my biggest mentors when it comes to like business and Chick-fil-A and being a leader and stuff like that. And so Zach, he saw that we had a need for catering, and that we really didn't have much in place for that. And so he put me in a role called catering coordinator, and he said, I see that you have your own business, Pristine Window Cleaning, and I see that you're entrepreneurial. So I'm going to pretty much give you this side of the business, and I'm going to let you take control and, build it out. Build like systems for catering, do what you can to make it, an amazing experience for guests. And so he put me in the catering coordinator position, and I pretty much just put in systems, like just try to use all the creativity I had to make catering optimal for Abilene, the local Abilene people who do catering a lot. And so from there, I basically just like did little stuff like, how do we make box meals? What are we going to put in box meals? When we make assorted sauces for guests, how many sauces and what sauces are we going to put in there? And so I just made like little Canva edits, like this is a box meal. This is how you make assorted sauce. And then like we had this issue with these TMS bags is what we call them. And they're warming bags, and they basically just keep the food hot for, I think the longest you can keep them in there is like an hour and a half. And so we had an issue where we couldn't get our TMS bags because guests who would take them would forget they have them, or they would just be too lazy to return them. And so I did this thing where I named all the TMS bags superhero names, and I did Canva edit where it's just like the superhero and it's got a picture of the superhero. And then I did air tags inside of the TMS bags where we could track them. And so I did that, and we could always track, got a little iPad where I could do that from, and track the TMS bags, and would always contact, because if I knew where it was at, I knew what guest it was. Mm-hmm. I would just always know like our local guests. And so
lots of systems and building of that side of things.
For sure.
So how would you say all of that, like, has it taught you a lot doing your own business? Because you started while you were working at Chick-fil-A, right?
Yes.
So what were some of the things that you learned from Chick-fil-A and applied it to your current business?
So from Chick-fil-A, I learned a lot of
how to say my pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, that's, even today you can ask the people who know me, like,
hey y'all, I wanted to hop on here really quick and remind you guys about our 24-hour podcast setup services. So if you have a space in your office, in your church, at your house that you want to transform into something similar like this, we've perfected the technique. We've got the whole list of everything you need. We'll personally look at your space. We'll do some interior design work, set up all the cables, make a trip out to your location and set it all up for you and train you how to use it. So if you're interested, I'm leaving a link in the description for you to check out. Hope to work with you guys soon.
Ask the people who know me, like, I say my pleasure without even having to say it, because it's just embedded in me. Any Chick-fil-A worker will probably relate to that.
Just answer the phone. My pleasure. I mean,
hello, this Cochran. Is Jesse with Chick-fil-A Pristine Window Cleaning. But yeah, I think from Chick-fil-A, I learned the main part for me that I got most out of Chick-fil-A was how to deal with people and like on a daily basis, like people's problems, simple problem solvings, and like systems. So like Chick-fil-A is so good about like training and like systems and raising up like good leaders. And so for me, like when I first became a shift leader as a manager for the Chick-fil-A, um, I pretty much just had to deal with people's crap every day, and like people coming into work or calling into work or being sick, wanting to go home or having kids and, having to deal with their kids and getting them to school and, just the everyday hustle for all these people that were employees for this Chick-fil-A who worked, under me. And so I just basically learned how to deal with people. It helped my EQ, my emotional intelligence. I went through that with another IM. His name was Daniel, and he was a genius when it came to EQ. And so I was really just eager and hungry to learn, like, how do you do this? How do you deal with people? Like, what are some, like, steps that you use to, like,
Not slap them in the face.
and not slap them in the face and not kick their butts home, and so because these people were, that's what you had to understand, that's what I had to understand, which was like weird because like there was a lot of people who were working under me that were like a lot older than me and like had kids and families and like I was in charge of them, so I had to understand like these people need this job, like they have to come in and like work and like they deal with me every day to pay their bills for their kids and provide for their family. And so I remember one of the best things that Daniel told me, which was one of the IMs that trained me. I was just so eager to learn from him because he was so good. He told me I don't remember exactly what he called it, but I think it was the rule of three. And so like I would always come to him and be like, dude, like I'm having trouble with this person, like they're just not respecting me. They're not doing what I'm telling them when I need them to do it. And he would always tell me the same thing. And it was the rule of three. And he said, the first time you go to that person to tell them to do something, you're going to be real sweet, sugar it up. Like, hey, can you please, I'm going to have you go to drinks and you're going to do drinks for till 2:00 today. And then he would be like, if they didn't do that, then the second time you go up to them, you're going to be a little bit more stern and you're just going to tell them the same thing. And it's like, hey, I told you to go to drinks. I need you to be on drinks until 2. And then he would say the third time is the final time, and you would go to them and you'd be like, okay, well, let's go to the office and have a talk. And so like that simple little rule just helped me so much because, I'm a people pleaser. It's easy for me to get trampled over. It's easy for me to let people take advantage of me. And so it's like that helped me outside of work, inside of work, with business when it came to dealing with people from window cleaning, getting new customers, stuff like that. It's just like simple rule of three, like just helped me so much. And so, yeah, dealing with people was definitely the biggest part when it came to Chick-fil-A and what I learned from it.
Which is good because in every business you have to deal with people. Unfortunately, about 99% of businesses, I always tell Katie, I'm like, if there was a business I didn't have to talk to anybody, didn't have to be nice to anybody, I would do it. But it doesn't exist. So you have some of your equipment here today.
I do.
All of your window cleaning equipment. So y'all focus primarily on window cleaning, right?
Yes.
That's all you do.
Yeah, window cleaning.
Very selective. You got the squeegees. You got I don't even know what any of this other stuff is. Can you show us kind of what?
I can.
Some of it.
So we clean windows, but we also, it's counted as the window, but we clean the windows, the sills, and the frames. So the windows is the actual glass, right? And then the seals is the thing that seals the window to the frame, and which is the rubber. And like people think, you don't really need to clean that, but you do because dirt builds up right there. It'll leak down, get back on the window. And then the frames, which same thing, dirt will be on there and it'll come down onto the window. So we clean the frames as well. And so I'll start with the first thing I use when I clean windows. And this is a little wet,
it's okay.
but this is my
Is there
mop.
water in there?
Yeah, probably. I cleaned it today. This is the mop. This is basically what we put. We get our bucket and we pour water into the bucket, and then we get our.
You might want to sit back a little bit.
Okay.
The microphone, yeah.
And then we get our Dawn dish soap, and we kind of do like 5 seconds of Dawn dish soap, and then our squeegee glide, which helps our squeegees glide on the glass real easy. And this is what we dip in there to scrub the glass with. And so then after that, you scrub the glass. And if you're doing a detail clean,
here we'll do this. There you go.
Then this is called a walnut pad. So like 90% of the glass that you're going to do, you can just do with this mop.
Okay.
It's got these little things in it that'll scrub it really good. And so, but if you're doing one that has lots of grease, lots of fingerprints, maybe tape residue, whatever it is, this is what you'll take and you'll just scrub on the glass, and you can get the grease off and the dirt and the grime and everything off super easy with this, which is super handy. I never used that, but now that I did, you can really tell a difference in the window clean. And so then obviously after that, you're going to take your squeegee.
Your golden squeegee.
Golden squeegee.
That's real gold, right?
Yes. It's actually the same squeegee that's on my business cards, if you'll notice. So 24 karat gold squeegee. And then you'll squeegee the water off of the glass. And so I got to tell you the technique. The technique for whenever you squeegee, I call it taking down the mountain. So you'll cut in, right, to the top corner right here, and then you'll come over to the other corner over here. You'll come back down, and then you'll kind of create a mountain shape of water, and then you'll come back and just do this motion till you take down the mountain all the way to the bottom, and you'll finish.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Freaking pristine.
Pristine. It's going to be pristine every time. People hit me up. And then I got my baby squeegee.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
Baby squeegee, also 24 karat gold. And this is what I'll take on the actual frames. And I'll get I'm not squeegeeing, but I'll get the water off of the frames. I didn't bring a towel, but we have microfiber towels that we use to detail the edges of the window and then finish the frames with.
So how long does this usually last? Do you put anything like to coat the windows to protect it from like rain or anything?
No, because that's part of the us coming back to clean your windows.
Oh.
You got to let them get dirty again. I mean, there's really, I don't know how much, like what solutions there are out there for that, for like keeping the dirt off, but that would be really expensive, and I wouldn't be using that yet.
And then they wouldn't call you back.
They wouldn't call me back.
So as far as like your business as a whole right now, how many windows do you think you're cleaning per week? All right, I know you just started full time, but how many are you trying to get to, or like what's that looking like?
So the goal, I do about, in total for my people who have me coming back on a regular basis, I always recommend like every other week, especially if you're like a restaurant or a business that has a lot of people in and out, because your windows are going to be pretty dirty and they're going to keep getting dirty, pretty often. And so I have about 10 to 15 people on a every other week basis.
Are these businesses or houses?
All businesses.
Okay.
And so I go back and I clean their windows. I have one person who has me come back once a month. I just got another person today who's going to have me come back once a month. Phoenix Foe. Shout out to Kevin. And so
those are big windows too.
Yeah, they got quite a bit of windows. And so once I get in there too, that Allen Ridge area, hey, I clean Phoenix Foe. Like, let me in.
Hot Works,
Fuzzies, Cork and Pig, Twisted Root. But yeah, any houses that I've cleaned are usually kind of just like a service call. Like they'll be like, hey, my windows are dirty. Can you come out and clean them? And so that's.
So let me ask you, do you charge more for commercial?
I charge more for residential.
Charge more for residential?
Yes.
Why is that?
And it's just per window. So like I make more money off of commercial.
Yeah.
Just because like that's I'm coming back. But for residential, you charge more because that's a one-time clean. And also like people's houses, they don't get their windows cleaned every other week like these businesses do. So they're going to be a lot more dirty than the businesses that I clean. But yeah, residential, it's just more like a one-time clean. So like I have to charge more for that. and usually I'm driving farther than I would if I was just doing it in town. So I have to charge for gas as well. But yeah, residential is definitely a little bit more of a charge than commercial.
Yeah. Okay. So are any of them? I guess are they on retainers, like month to month type thing, or
Yeah, I
how
mean,
does
I
it?
call it a subscription. It's just like here's the subscription. I usually offer every other week or once a month, or if you're like somebody who's got a billion windows, maybe 3 times a year. But that's really all I have is just like I offer every other week or once a month.
Do you do any like offers to where? Uh, sorry, a client just texted me. Do you do any offers that it's like if you do if you sign up with me for the next 3 months, I'll come 2 times a month, and you'll get a discounted price?
No, that would be
I would
smart
try
though.
that. So
Yeah.
like that's one of the things that we do. It's like if somebody has a project, like a video production project, for example, if it's so we'll give them first we'll get the scope of the project. So like say they have 20 videos they want to be made or like YouTube videos. A lot of people like to buy YouTube videos in bundles. And so the same thing that like Sam's Club does, we give it at a discount because they're buying a lot in bulk. And so we'll be like, okay, we'll charge you, let's just say $1,000 a video. If you were to pay for it one at a time, because you're going to be making this stuff anyways, you're going to be cleaning your windows anyways. I'll charge you $1,000 each time I come, clean your windows or make a video. Or if you pay in a bundle pack, you'll get a 20% discount. And so then you get, what is it? $16,000 up front instead of waiting, and they get a discount and you get a lot more money up front. So I don't know if you could think about some ways
I
to
like
structure
that.
that.
That's smart.
You want to have options like that because when it comes to commercial stuff, these people have deep pockets.
Yeah.
And so, like, they have budgets for this stuff. They have budgets for maintenance of their property, especially like even apartments. Like, have you hit up any apartments?
I haven't.
That would be a good spot.
Yeah.
I've seen some people cleaning at our apartment. I
Yeah.
don't know how much they're charging or whatever, but
Yeah. At the lofts.
yeah,
Yeah. That's a lot of windows.
it's a lot of windows.
They're very high too.
But you're the window guy.
Yeah. I'm the local window guy.
Local.
That's
Where
smart.
can people find you on social media?
I don't have any social medias yet, but
No, Jesse. You should have done that yesterday.
yeah, I should have. But I got my buddy Matt. He's kind of building up a little like branding.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to kind of make sure I got my branding right and what I want, and then I was going to start the social media side. But I think you're right. I should start it.
I
very
think you
soon.
could do some. I think you could do well with some. Usually, we don't recommend like ads necessarily, but I feel like a service like yours, where you can target, like especially on Facebook and Instagram, you can target these areas. And so, like if there's a industrial area or like a commercial area where there's a bunch of buildings, you can target people in that industry and also the geographical location. And so if you were to offer like these discounts and do like, or even do like some sort of like free or 50% off your first month if you comment the word blah, 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 send it out as an ad, put $40 into the ad, people will start texting you. People will start commenting on it. Like, and then as soon as you get their information and get like they're interested in window cleaning, you may have to suffer up front to get 50% taken off. But like if you think of the long-term value of the customer, a year, that'll way make itself worth it.
Right.
Like losing that small amount in the beginning just to gain like loyalty and like trust, that's huge.
Yeah.
So I think doing things like that, and we can talk about more of those ideas later, but it's huge opportunity. So how many people on your team right now?
I have one team member.
Okay, this is Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
Okay, so what does he do mainly? Does he just help you with the cleaning?
Yeah, Matt, he just cleans behind me. I've trained him for about a year, and so he's pretty speedy and pretty good at cleaning right behind me. He does like graphic design stuff, and so he made my business cards
Sweet.
that I have right now, and then he's also he made me a new logo that I'm gonna be putting into my social medias and stuff like that.
Sweet. So fast forward 2 years from now, where do you want your business to be?
2 years from now, I want to have definitely, probably, I'm going to say like, because like with window cleaning, I could really do it by myself.
Yeah.
But I would like to have like 2 more team members working for me where I could have 2 teams. So like me and one guy and then Matt and another guy going around Abilene and cleaning. And also a big goal for me is I'm on the north side. I'm living there now. So I'd like to have like most of the north side like cleaning their windows.
Yeah.
And have them all on my books. So
yeah, I would definitely say like think from right now, especially like going forward, think of ways to scale. Because ultimately, why are you starting your own business? Why are you running your own business?
Yeah.
Like to get more time with family, to get more time where you don't have to work. So think of ways to scale. Think of ways to like work on the business, not in the business. And I know at the beginning and like for a while you'll have to be in the business.
Right.
But like start developing those systems and using those things that you learned at Chick-fil-A and like implementing them to be like you could be just the guy overseeing everything. Like
Right.
you don't necessarily have to be window cleaning.
Right.
So I think that would be, and I bet you could do it in 2 or 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Because you already have a great start. You already have a network of people, and if you add social media into that and do the right advertising, you could have 10, 15 guys out there cleaning windows.
Yeah.
And you're just managing them like you're managing a team. Like have one portal where everybody schedules their stuff, automatically gets put in the system. You assign different people. Like
Yeah.
scalability is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get to.
Right.
Is that even what you're wanting to do, or are you just wanting to clean windows?
Yeah, no, that's the plan. That's the ultimate goal. Like, the ultimate end goal would definitely be me just managing a group of people and like managing teams and stuff like that. I mean, that's always been my dream, is to just be a business owner. And so being able to, like you said, work in, or the ultimate end goal would definitely be me just managing a group of people and like managing.
That's the goal. So let's talk about some things aside from business. Your background as a preacher's kid, background with your hand scars, that story. Go ahead and show this camera right here your
You want me to
scar.
get up and show?
You could just hold it forward. I think they'll be able to see it. So
We in the shot, Emma?
yeah, there it is, and it's just on one hand, right?
Yes. Well, it's on both. These are very hard to see.
Okay.
You can see right here, this is like the scars. This is the scars from like my surgeries. Everything else is from the burn. And you can see, I don't know if you can catch it up, but there is a spot right here that is darker than the rest. It's like a little droop. And that's where my skin melted down my arm, like wax on a candle. And over here, it's like that too. You can't really see it, but this hand just looks normal, unless you look over here where you can see where it did burn.
So how in the world has that affected you in your adult life?
No, which is freaking the blessing. Like, thank the Lord. I should have lost fingers. I should have lost control. Like nerve damage, stuff like that. But it is not at all. Like, I play bass with this hand.
Mm-hmm.
I clean windows with my hands. I play with my cards.
Magic tricks.
And so it hasn't affected me at all, which is such a blessing.
That's awesome.
I should have lost fingers and stuff like that.
So bass guitar, how long have you been playing bass guitar?
Bass guitar since I was probably about 12, so maybe 8 years.
Dang.
Yeah.
So for some backstory, me and Jesse play in the same band at church like every week.
I tell him what to do every Sunday.
He's the guy talking in my ears, telling us what chords we're playing. No, yeah, you've gotten significantly better at the bass guitar and at being what we call an MD, a music director. What have you learned from that experience as far as like leading a band, but like you're leading it from the back end type thing?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it's a little bit weird to talk because like in the beginning, I was super nervous to become an MD because I was talking in everybody's ears on stage, and so everybody was listening to me and hearing my 12-year-old girl voice, and so kind of had to get used to that one and hearing my own voice in my ears too. But it's cool because like now I freaking love it. I love doing it every Sunday. Like, you think like doing it every Sunday for like 3 years, you'd get tired of it or get bored of it. But like, I freaking love it, just leading the band. Like, it's cool because these guys that are in front of me, they're leading the people and they're doing the performance side of it and they're, saying the words for the people to sing along with. But me in the back, like, I'm kind of leading them to lead the people, and so that's what's just kind of cool about it is like I get to help and be a part in, God moving through our worship team by just, leading our leaders into leading the people
Yeah.
and helping them into spontaneous moments. Like, let's go back to the bridge here. They're feeling it. They're not feeling it. Like, it's just super cool being able to be, a small little part of the whole thing.
Yeah. You read the room very well. And I think you let the Spirit lead very well. So I'm usually in front of Jesse. And so he's always like saying, all right, good job, good job. And it's always encouraging. Okay. So for anybody wanting to like start their own journey, start their own business, young entrepreneurs, I'm a young entrepreneur. I'm getting old, but I'm a younger entrepreneur. You're a young entrepreneur. What would you recommend? Like, what would be some advice? Somebody who's thinking about starting a business, starting a side hustle, like, what would you say to them right now?
Well, that kind of reminds me like of whenever I started my business, it was just kind of me being entrepreneurial and like trying to find a niche, trying to find what I wanted to do because I didn't want to go to college. And so I started trying different stuff. Like I did a little bit of leather work and I would do chores for people, like feed their animals, stuff like that, just little things. And I saw something on social media and I was like, something about window cleaning and how you can make money doing window cleaning. And so I just went to Home Depot and I bought a little window cleaning set for like $15. It was a squeegee, a mop, and a bucket. And then I bought some Dawn dish soap. And that day I made about $300 cleaning windows.
Yes, sir.
And so it's just like, I was like, all right, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is what the business that I want to build out. And so for me, it's just like, you got to look for it. You got to be passionate about it. Like for me, I am not qualified at all. I do not have the smarts. I've always been that personality type of like, there's a lot more qualified people who get a lot more better chances than me, have a lot more money. But for me, like I'm gonna work harder. I'm gonna look for it, but I'm gonna be the person who's out there on the front lines, like working my butt off while the other people are, kind of chilling at where they're at, and so
Playing Fortnite.
So I just being the grinder, being passionate about whatever it is you're doing, like Colossians 3:23, whatever you do it heartily as unto the Lord, not unto men. So whatever I'm doing, I just want to do it as hard as I can, and so I think the Lord rewarded that, me being passionate and having a lot of drive, and I think He just rewarded that in me, and let me find a niche that I had, which was window cleaning.
Yeah.
So.
And I think finding your passion, I like how you said that because that's kind of what happened with this. It's like the Lord put something on my heart, and it was like the same thing as like you seeing that social media post.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, that's possible. Like you could do that, and then you just go for it. Like you don't even think about it. You just start going for it. And so like moments like that, if you can learn to recognize that, take advantage of it, and like just hit the ground running because the Lord puts those things in your heart and in your soul for a reason.
Yeah.
So I like how you hit on that, and that's a big thing that I like to talk about.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, all right. So what is your social media going to be? Is it just going to be pristine window cleaning?
Yeah, so I'm thinking pristine window cleaning. That's what we're going to say for now. I'm experimenting with a few other names that might be a little more catchy and would fit my logo a little bit better. But because I'm going for like a retro mechanic vibe for the logo, and at some point do the merch, which would be like a retro Like if you think of a window cleaning in the 50s, like or 60s, you think of like these guys with these striped mechanic shirts and the name tag, which is in cursive. And so having like the logo on the back of like an animated retro mechanic guy holding the squeegee. So yeah, but I don't know. As of right now, it's just going to be pristine window cleaning.
Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna give you a challenge. This episode is going up next Monday.
Okay.
I need you to have at least one account set up by then, and it will be in the description. So there's that. Thanks for joining the Howdy Podcast today, Jesse. Hope you learned something today about either business or the Lord or Chick-fil-A. So it was a good conversation. Thanks for coming in, and we'll see you on the next one.
It's my pleasure.
My pleasure. Yo, thanks for watching today's episode of the Howdy Podcast. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed the episode today. I wanted to give you a quick reminder about our exclusive Howdy Media Insiders group on Facebook. Listen, it's completely free. All you have to do is hit the link in the description, apply, and we will accept it on our end. You'll get direct access to me and the Howdy Media team on that page, including exclusive content, live stream Q&As, and much, much more. We look forward to seeing you in the Howdy Media Insiders group. Thanks.